Okay, good day, Stam. Now we're going to discuss Module 8 entitled Chemical Bonding, specifically focusing on ionic bond. So in this module po, we have a learning objectives na at the end of the lesson, you have to attain. Una, you have to know how to differentiate between ionic bond and covalent bonding. Dalawa, classify the types of bonding in the compound as ionic or covalent. Katlo, describe the nature of bonding in ionic compound. And next po is describe the nature of bonding in molecular compound. And lastly, illustrate how atom combine. So for the topic outline, I think we have to skip that. So for the introduction, we have chemical bonding. So pag sinabi pong chemical bonding, is defined as any rearrangement of electrons in two atoms that generate a force, causing the atom to be bound to each other, forming a molecules. Importance ng pagkakaroon ng chemical bonding, not only for the atoms but also for the humans. For the atoms po, they have to make bonds or they have to make interaction with the other elements in order for them to stabilize. In human naman, ang importance ng chemical bonding is in order for us to meet our daily necessities. Actually, kasi yung chemical bonding, nag-a-arise siya with different applications. So, for example, for medicine, in order for us to create new medicine, ginagawa natin, pinag-i-interact natin yung two or more elements natin na nagkakause ng chemical bonding. Ganun din sa mga field ng industrial. If we wanted to create new product, so ginagawa natin, ginagamit natin yung mga element na makikita natin sa paligid natin at nag-undergo sila ng chemical reactions in order for us to create product. So, yung dalawang reactants natin, mag-interact sila and magkukause yun ng chemical bonding. In order for them to bond, no? They undergo chemical reactions. And then, kung ano man kalabasan nung pinaka-bonding nila or nung chemical reactions, that will be our product. It's either that is good or that is bad. Still, that is product. But usually, to meet our daily necessities, yun, nagkakaroon tayo ng creation of new products through bonding. That. So again po, we have different types of bond. We have ionic bond, covalent bond, and hydrogen bond. And also with metallic bond. Now, we are going to focus more on ionic bond. I think bigyan lang muna natin ng kaunting distinction kung ano ba pagkakaiba ng nung apat na bond na to. So, si ionic bond, nafo-form lang siya through metals and non-metals. Pag sinabi pong ionic bond, yung isa po naglo-lose ng electrons, tapos yung isa naman po nagre-receive ng electrons. Well, pag sinabi pong covalent bond, nangyayari lang po siya both both non-metals. So, dito, ang ginagawa ng mga atoms natin is nagkakaroon lang po sila ng sharing of electrons. While in hydrogen bond, syempre present yung pinaka-hydrogen and oxygen natin or yung tatawag natin na hydrogen oxide, and metallic bond usually came from metallic elements. So bago tayo makapag-form ng chemical bond, may force of attractions na ginagamit, which is yung tinatawag natin na intramolecular force. Yung intramolecular force, yun yung nagkukos kung bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng bond. So, yung intramolecular force, siya yung nagkakos ng tatlong bond. It's either ionic, covalent, or metallic. Dalawa kasi yung force na meron tayo. We have the intramolecular force and the intermolecular force. Pag intramolecular force, ito yung nagkakos ng bonding. Pero si intermolecular force, tinatawag siya as weak force, no? So, kinaklasify siya as weak force kasi hindi niya kaya makapag-attract or makapag-form ng bond. But instead, ginagamit natin si intermolecular force to maintain the structure of the compound or the element. Paano bang structure, sir? Yung pagiging solid state, liquid states, and then gaseous states. No, kumbaga in human body, in order for us to maintain human form, kailangan natin ng bone. While sa compound, na kinakailangan natin is intermolecular force. And sometimes, kinaklasify si intermolecular force as inside force, no? Hanggang inside lang siya. Pero si intramolecular force, outside force naman yung classification sa kanya. So we have stability of noble gas, yung noble gases natin is they are classified or we can determine them and we can determine them at group 18 ng periodic table. Yung mga noble gases natin in standard condition, they are classified as odorless, colorless, and monoatomic gases and low chemical reactivity, no? Unahin natin yung low chemical reactivity. Si noble gases po kasi, kinasify siya as low reactivity. It because, yung pinaka last outermost layer nila is meron silang 8 valence electrons. So, yung 8 valence electrons na yon, magkaka-partner na yon. So, since magkaka-partner sila, kumbaga, they have complete set of electrons sa outermost layer nila. So, since it was complete, they don't need to interact with other element. Nagkakaroon lang naman tayo ng reactive element. It because they are not stabilized. But within their subs po, sila ay stabilized na. So, that's why tinawag din sila as monoatomic. Minsan yung monoatomic na classify natin yun as mononuclear diatomic molecules. Pag sinabi po mononuclear diatomic molecules, ito yung kinaklasify in covalent bond na non-polar. Pero pag sinabi po kasi monoatomic within the self, from the word itself, mono, ibig sabihin ng isa. So, kahit mag-isa siya, kaya niyang ma-stabilize sarili niya kasi nga yung pinaka-outermost layer niya is complete ng valence electrons. Lahat yun ay may partner. Pag sinabi naman pong diatomic, ibig sabihin dalawa. So, kinakailangan niya ng other partner just to be stabilized. So, the properties of noble gases, the outer shell of the valence electrons is considered to be full. So, as we observe here, yung neon natin, si neon po ay may valence electrons, total valence electrons of 10. Or atomic number na 10. Pero yung pinaka last outermost layer niya, kung mapapansin natin, yun ay 8, no? Kompleto siya. Lahat yun ay may ka-partner. That's why, kinlasify siya as monoatomic and element that has a low chemical reactivity. Kasi nga, since complete na yung outermost layer niya ng valence electrons, no need to interact. And monatomic kasi kahit siya lang mag-isa, kaya niya ma-stabilize yung sarili niya kasi nga complete yung pinaka-valence electrons niya. So, yung physical properties of noble gases, since yung gases natin is kinaklasify in state of matter as gas state. Since yung noble gases po natin is classified as in gaseous states sa state of matters, definitely they have low intermolecular force. Again po, yung intermolecular force, siya yung nagme-maintain ng structure ng compound natin or ng element natin if ever they are in solid states or in liquid states. Sa state of matter, ang merong pinakamataas na intermolecular force, syempre yung mga element or yung mga compound na under in solid states. Bababa yan kapag naging liquid state, syempre mas mababa yung intermolecular force kapag gaseous state. Since si gas po, si noble gas is under gas, syempre classify pa rin siya under gaseous states. Now, for the electron configuration po, noble gases have the largest ionization potential among elements. In order for us to classify kung yung element ba natin is merong mataas na ionization energy, is pinapalo natin yung ruling in terms of periodic table. From bottom, papuntang up, ibig sabihin naging increasing ionization level, and from left to right, naging increase yung pinaka-ionization level natin. And one of the reasons kung bakit si noble gases is merong mataas na ionization energy level is because kung mapapansin natin sa outermost layer, halos wala namang loosely bound electrons. Yung loosely bound electrons, is ito yung electrons na walang ka-partner sa outermost layer. But since meron siyang ka-partner, ibig sabihin nun, may mataas to na attraction force. And since meron siyang mataas na attraction force, automatically, kinakailangan natin ng mataas na ionization level, energy level, in order for us to remove certain electrons from the outermost layer, yung pinaka mga noble gases na element natin. So, yung application ng four noble gases, marami tayong pinagagamitan ng noble gases natin. Hindi lang sa lamp, hindi lang sa Xerox, sa film projector, etc. Useful yung pinaka-noble gases natin. And one of the most used na noble gases is yung helium, diba? Kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng party celebration, syempre, if you wanted na paluboyin yung balloon, gumagamit tayo ng helium gas. So, one of the useful gas na ginagamit natin. And kapag si noble gas po nag-undergo ng chemical reaction, no, nagre-release sila ng physical properties or distinct physical properties na makikita natin. So, nagre-release sila ng neon color kapag nag-undergo sila ng chemical reactions. Yun yung one of the properties ng mga noble gases natin. So, for the forming of ions, during ionic bond, nakapag-form tayo ng ions. Mag-form lang tayo ng ions if ever we have two types of ions kasi, that is cations and anions. Napo-form po ang cations if ever tayo ay nag-lose ng electrons. Pero kapag cation po yung gusto natin ma-form, tayo ay nag-gain ng electrons. So, sa pag-gain po ng electrons, nag-lose kasi tayo ng energy, kaya negative charge. Pero sa cation po, since tayo po ay nag-lose ng electrons, maraming po, energy natitira, kaya nagiging positive charge. So again po, ionic bonding is a type of chemical bond wherein nangyayari lang siya both metal and non-metal. And this time, pag ionic bonding po, nagpo-form tayo ng cations. I mean, ng mga ions. So, kapag nag-lose, cation na na-form, pero kapag nag-attract, anion po yung na-form natin. So, if ever po yung compound natin is nag-undergo ng ionic bond, definitely, yung magiging compound natin is classified as ionic compound. So, nakarely din po yun sa pangalan ng element. I mean, ng bond. So, for example, ionic compound. From the word itself, ion, it means galing tayo sa process ng pagpo-form ng ionic compound. Galing tayo sa process kung saan yung bonding natin is nag-form through ionic bond. And for the writing of chemical formulas, we have ruling to follow in writing chemical formulas in terms of ionic compound. No? Kailangan laging mauuna si cation or yung tatawag natin na metal bago yung non-metals or yung anions. So, sa pagpapangalan or susulat ng chemical formula, kailangan mauna muna si metals bago si non-metals. And then, yung second element natin, yung non-metals natin, pinapalitan natin yung suffix niya ng IDE. Pero kung ito ay polyatomic, ATE naman yung pinapalit natin. Now, for the structure, the arrangement of ion is the system are often related to close pack arrangement of sphere with the cation occupying tetrahedral or octahedral intersites. Sa structure, ganito yung pinakamagiging itsura niya, no? Kapag maliit yung sample, tawag natin doon unicell. Pero kapag medyo malaki na, at pangkalahatan lattice yun. Pero yung itsura ng octahedral and tetrahedral, ganito po yun. Now, for the properties, depende kasi sa mapo-form natin na iron compound. Kung ano yung magiging properties in terms of acidity, in terms of color, in terms of compressibility. So, one of the properties kasi ng mga compound, yung pagkakaroon ng acidity. Now, in order for us to determine kung acid ba yung mapo-form natin na compound, isa lang naman yung way natin, no? Kapag yung element natin is natutunaw into hydroxide or into water, kino-consolidate natin siya as acid base, no? So, for example, yung chlorine na nabibili natin sa tindahan, tinunaw natin sa water, automatic yon magiging acid-base solution yon. Now, since solution na siya acid-base, automatic po yon na kapag ipapangalan natin yun, papangalanan natin yun, mauuna yung term na hydro followed by the second element. And then, papalitan natin yung suffix sa second element ng IC and then mag-a-add tayo ng acid na word. So, yung chlorine na natunaw sa water, pag binigkas natin sa pangalan niya, sa bago niyang pangalan, sa magiging hydrochloric acid yung magiging name niya. So, another properties ng ionic compound is yung pagkakaroon ng higher melting point and boiling point. Since nga nagkakaroon tayo ng sharing tuloy, loose tsaka gaining of electrons, at mataas yung intramolecular force na meron tayo, so definitely mataas yung melting and boiling point na meron siya. Unlike kay covalent bond na nag-share lang tayo, definitely mas mababa. Kung pag-compare natin si ionic compound at si covalent compound, mas mataas ang melting point ni ionic compound kaysa kay covalent compound. Kasi po, mas mataas yung attraction force na nare-release. And then for the brittleness, yung brittleness, nagte-take effect lang siya kapag yung materials or yung compound natin is in solid states. Now, nagte-take effect yung brittleness kapag nalilimit na or nare-reach natin yung limit ng strength ng isang solid compound natin or yung nire-required na energy level. So, katulad sa mga rocks, yung mga rocks natin, they undergo chemical bonding din. No? Kasi kapag inanalyze natin yung mga rocks natin, makikita natin na it composed of different kinds of elements. Now, habang tumatagal, umaaraw, umuulan, yung bato natin, nag-absorb sila ng energy. Then, the way na na-absorb yung energy, at nare-reach yung pinaka-required ionization energy, nagkakaroon ng deformation or nagkakaroon ng brittleness. Kasi nga, nagkakaroon ng weathering. I mean, because of the weathering, nagkakaroon tayo ng brittleness para ma-deform or masira yung pinaka-compositions ng pinaka-rock natin. So, for compressibility, again po, nagpe-pay attention yan between the structure of the compound. If ever, if we wanted to analyze the structural formations ng atom natin, kapag yung compound natin is under solid states, mas compress yung structure. Kasi nga mas dikit-dikit. Pero kung ang form na product is liquid and gas, yun, syempre, mas hindi compress yung pinaka-structure ng atoms ng or structure ng particles ng pinaka-compound natin. Solubility, okay? So, hindi porket ionic compound, ang mapuform lang natin dito is yung mga product na under solid states, no? We can form product in liquid state. So, katulad na lang nung perfume na ginawa natin, no? Sa pagbuo kasi ng solution, we need to have solute and solvent. So, sa ginawa natin na perfume making, that is under example ng pinaka-solutions natin. And then, sa pag-analyze kung sino yung solute and solvent doon, yung magiging solute natin is yung fixative, yung DPG, tsaka yung fragrance oil. And then, yung magiging solvent natin will be the alcohol kasi siya yung medyo may higher percentage. Pero again po, that is another example of ionic compound under solubility. Now, next po is the electrical conductivity. Since the ionic compound is formed by metals and nonmetals, most of the compounds created by the ionic bond is good conductor of electricity compared with valence electrons. Compared with covalent bond. No? Since nga yung element na ginagamit natin during ionic bonding is made from metals and nonmetals, so some of them na product can be a good conductor of electricity. And the next po is the color. Yung color, nagte-take effect siya, depende sa state of matters ng compound natin. Kapag solid yung compound natin, syempre mas, tawag dito, mas visible yung kulay. Pero kapag liquid naman, dito mag-take effect yung transparency. Pero kapag acid masyado, mas nagiging darker yung pinaka-color. So, pwede natin ma-distinguish yung color ng product natin in liquid solution based on the acid or acid level. So, next. So, I think hanggang dun lang po yung module 8. So, we have to proceed with module 9.